Hey guys, it is Heath, bad hair and all, with the Groovy Gold Hunter, and we're taking a trip. I've been wanting to go to Chrisum Gold Mine for about 3 months now, and I just have not had the time to go. Plus, I've been just buying pay dirt and having it delivered. But I've been wanting to go to Chrisum so I can go get me a load or a scoop of pay dirt. I know that they do that, but they don't deliver scoops. They sell you concentrated bags of pay dirt. Plus, I wanted to go to their store and check out a lot of their dredging equipment and mining equipment and sluices and mats and all that good stuff, because they got a really nice variety of stuff that they sell as well. I'm going to make it a day trip. This is Easter weekend, so it's Thursday night and I'm getting myself packed. And I'm going to leave very early in the morning. I'm going to get up about 6 a.m. It's about a 4.5 hour drive for me. I'm going to try to get there by about noon their time, because they are on Eastern and I am Central. So, and like I said, I was going to spend the weekend. Me and my wife were going to go up there and go up to Helen, Georgia and make a weekend trip out of it. But since we got family coming over this weekend, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to run up there, pick it up, and just drive back home. So what do you wear when you go to Crisson Gold Mine? All I'm bringing with me is 3 big tubs, 27-gallon tubs, because I know when they do scoops, usually they'll tell you to bring a tarp and a truck, and they'll just dump it in the back of the truck. So I called them to make sure that they would do that, and they said that they could. So I'm bringing a tarp just in case they can't do it. I packed a shovel, a pan, a classifier, and a 5-gallon bucket, just in case I find a place to pan on my way down there. You never know. Got my camera gear because I'm taking you guys along with me, and then I'm going to go to bed, get up first thing in the morning, and we're going to head to Dalonega. So, good night. Okay, so welcome. Good morning. It is Friday, Good Friday, and yeah, I'm on my way to Dalonega. Unfortunately, I picked the worst day to go to Dalonega because it is pouring down rain. I've been on the road for about an hour. I was supposed to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I did not. I got up at 6. I didn't get to bed till very late last night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, because I was packing and getting all my stuff together. I woke up at 6. I'm like, there's no way I'm driving to Dalonega and back home with 4 hours sleep. So I went back to sleep, woke up at 9, took off, and here I am. I'm on the interstate, rain and traffic. And I didn't even think about the fact that today is Good Friday and traffic's going to be awful because everybody's going to be traveling, but not very good timing. Going anyway, I'm already on my way, so I'm going to go ahead and tough it out. Where I live, which is Middle Tennessee, to get to Dalonega, you have to go through Chattanooga, Tennessee. Part of that is going up what they call Mount Eagle, which is a very big mountain with lots of curvy road, even for the interstates. Very curvy and not the funnest road to go on, and probably the most traffic jammed road that you'll ever find. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I'm on the road. I'm headed to Dalonega. I'm committed. I'm gonna go get my pay dirt. I'm gonna go buy me a scoop, so hopefully everything will work out. And welcome to Mount Eagle. Now I will remind you that we are on an interstate, and this is the absolute worst road. Yeah, it's a mess. I'm off the interstate finally for the second time. The interstate closed down on 24 because there was a wreck. So I had to take a detour as well as everybody else that was on the interstate. And that probably took an hour extra. So we're finally on the back roads, headed to Dalonega. I'm about, I want to say about 60 miles out. It's all back roads from here. I thought this was the peach state because I have seen nothing but apple farms. I have passed, where am I at? 12 apples 12 apple barns or places, 2 boiled peanuts, and a mini golf course since I've been on the back roads. So they call it the peach state, and I have not seen a single peach, but I've seen apple orchards here for days, and I'm sure I'm going to find more. So I'm at number 12, and we'll see if I hit number 13 before I get to Dalonega. And lo and behold, it is now almost 3 o'clock their time. I am at Chrisum Gold Mine. Pretty crowded today. Expected. This is a very popular place, and this is only the second time I've been here, so I'm going to go in here. I know they do not allow people to film inside the store because they were robbed over a year ago, and they don't like people filming, so I'm going to go in there and ask permission. I got to go to the bathroom first because I've spent 5 hours, 4.5 hours in a car and have not stopped to pee yet. That's probably too much information for you guys, so I'll just say let's go into Crisson. Okay, so I got my pay dirt, my 1 scoop of pay dirt, and it is in 3 27-gallon tubs, and it's under this tarp mat. I'm so glad I brought this tarp mat because if you look down there, they dumped it into the tubs, but it got under it and through it and around it, so I've got dirt underneath this tarp as well. I'm trying to keep as much as I possibly can in the truck because I've got a long way ahead. There's my 8,000 pounds of dirt. My God, those things are going to be, I don't know how I'm going to get them out of my truck. And I hope I've secured them because now I've got a 4.5 hour drive back home. So I'm gonna go back into Crisson, say my goodbyes, get something to eat, and then head back home. Yeah, that was kind of exhausting. Hot out here, it's like 80 degrees now. Got all of my stuff. I bought me a sluice mat for my sluice box at home. I'm gonna try out. I've got about, 80 gallons worth of pay dirt that's in the back of my truck. I'm very nervous going home. Dirt's light, it's gonna start flying out. I'm scared to death I'm gonna start seeing little gold nuggets flying out of my pay dirt. All right, let's go home. I got a long drive. Oh yeah, side note. I went in there and they're pretty busy. They had about 30 people in there at the time. If you want to go to the back and look around and do that stuff, you got to pay to rent their stuff, and they had a ton of people there. So I just didn't bother with them. I told them, next time I come up here and get pay dirt or whatever, which will be a month or so from now, hopefully, asked them if they'd let me tape and stuff like that, and they were like, yeah, you can. They just don't want you taping in the jewelry part of the store. But it's a nice little place. It's not a huge place, but most of the cool stuff's in the back anyway. So next time I come here, we'll videotape that stuff. I'm back at home. I'm so tired. So yeah, just got back from Crisson. Actually, I got back about 8 o'clock. I think it's about 10 o'clock. I got all of the unconcentrated pay dirt that I bought at Crisson, 75 gallons, back at home. Now, what I didn't realize, and come with me, I'll show you. I'm sorry, I'm so worn out right now because I just drug those 3 bins right there. These are 30-gallon bins. And I've got 3 of them. So that's roughly around 90 gallons. Not filled completely to the top. They weigh at least 200 pounds each. They're heavy. Completely and utterly filled with sand. Not completely wet sand either. It's pretty dry. God bless, those things were heavy. So how did I do it? Well, when the dude dumped it into the back of the truck in my bed, and I had the bins lined up. I had them all lined up, not this way, but facing this way. 1, 2, 3. And I told him, just take the bucket, come straight over the top, try to get them in the bins as best you can. Put a tarp underneath, dumped it. It went all over the tarp. He missed the edge closest to my window of the truck. So I had to take a shovel and block where he was dumping sand away from the bin, almost in between the bed of the truck and the window, where it would just fall to the ground. Just kind of a real quick boom, there you go, bye. And that was that. I don't know what else I'd expected. I mean, a high five or something. But I've got them at home. There's no way that I could have picked those things up. I could not have picked those things up. I tried to move it and I could barely get one side up like an inch. What I had to do, I went and got my shovel, grabbed a 5-gallon bucket, and just started shoveling 5 gallons at a time. Once it got to the point to where I think I could lift it off of the bed of the truck onto the ground, I did. Pretty much emptied half of those bins, and then took my my crawler and got it off the truck and wheeled it back in here. 10 hours driving. I left this morning at 9:30. I got home at 8, so it's really not that bad. I spent a good hour and a half in Crisson. Like I said, they were super busy. A lot of people wanting to do stuff, looking at jewelry, all that stuff. So they were really packed. The guy didn't have time to show me around in the back and all that stuff. This video probably won't come out for 6 months, but I wanted to try it one time. I've heard good things about getting this. Heard that you can get more gold than you would if they concentrated it themselves. Who knows? Drove up there in my truck. I have a Toyota Tacoma. And going up hills and stuff, not a problem. Coming back, number one, I wasn't sliding anywhere because it was raining. And number two, when I was going up hills, it took some power to get up those hills. So I was like, man, I'm just going to keep talking about how heavy it is because I had to do that by myself. My son was asleep. As soon as I got him in the garage, guess who comes strolling up to the kitchen and get him something to eat? The healthy one. Done with that part. Now let's get to panning this stuff, and man, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I'm back in my garage. I've got all of my material, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this video because there is no way that I can pan almost 80 gallons worth of pay dirt and put it on video. It would be a 6-day video. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm playing it by ear, to be honest with you, because I thought, well, maybe I should just show you every time I get a piece of gold and just say, ding, there's that gold, and ding, there's that gold. I think what I will do is maybe start off and show some stuff to you guys, show you my process and show you how I'm classifying all that stuff, because the material is not super dry. It's a little damp. I do have my sluice box, so what I did with the first one is I classified it a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, and then plus 20, and I sluiced everything that was minus 20, and it seemed to work pretty good. So basically my process so far has been get a 1-gallon bucket. Oh, I also bought me, while I was at Chrisum, I got me another pretty simplified sluice mat. It's just all grooves. So I decided to try that. It catches a ton of material. It catches a lot more than my other one did. But the 2 buckets that I did, I caught like 2 pieces of minus 20 gold. And I did pan out the tailings and did not lose any gold. So that's good. So yeah, I'm basically just taking a bucket, one of these, filling it up, classifying it down with my metal classifier right there. This stuff that I'm getting out of the plus 1/4 inch, I'm saving. And I can't wait to see how much of this I'll have at the end of this, because after I'm done with all of this sluicing and panning, I'm going to crush all of this quartz down. And I've been picking out the quartz as I go along with the 1/4 inch as well, and actually 1/8 inch, because they're smaller pieces that look like they could potentially have gold in them. Don't know if they do. I hope it's not a waste of time. I hope I do find some gold in that. But that's after a couple of gallons right there. And yeah, I do the same process. I just pan it out, and the smallest stuff, like what that is right there, I'll wet it and then I'll run it through there. I'm not going to videotape me doing every bit of that. It's just an impossibility. So I think what I'll do is every time that I pan something out and I do find gold, I will show it and you'll just get glimpses. And I might do a pan here or there as well in the video, but for the most part, I'll just show you when I get gold out of this. That's the only way I know how to do it, to keep this down to a 3-hour video. See, like I just wasted 5 minutes right there telling you guys what I plan on doing. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Why do I always start out with okay, so? I noticed that on my videos. Every time I do a video and every time I start up a new part or a new segment, I always say, okay, so, and then I edit it out. So I guess y'all don't know that I do that until I just told you. This is the process that I'm doing as of right now. I'm just doing one bucket at a time, or one bin. I'll do 1 gallon at a time, and I'm trying to take the top layer of the driest material that I can off, and I just take this scoop and I just go around where the driest material I can find is. Now it's pretty much wet just beneath it, but classifying 1 gallon at a time. Okay, so since I've got this material out of that bucket, that bin, it's still very damp. It's not like wet, but it's damp. You can feel it and it's got moisture in it. What I've been doing is, like I said, I'm only classifying it down to plus 1/4 inch, plus 1/8, plus 20, minus 20. That's it. This is the plus 20 material right here. And this is a lot. This and the minus 20 becomes a lot of material. The plus 1/8 and minus 1/8. That's as big as the rocks that I'm getting out of this so far. So it's pretty similar to a concentrated bag. I thought maybe there would be some bigger rocks, but apparently when they do their pay dirt that they sell unconcentrated, they go ahead and crush it through the stamp mill and already break it down. And I guess they put it in a big pile somewhere, because I didn't see where they brought it. They just, when I bought it, they just said, you know, go get your truck ready and we'll bring the bucket to you. Pretty sure that's because they don't want anybody knowing where they put it. I don't know that for sure because I didn't get an opportunity to go behind the place and do it. There's a big sign in front of the in the main lobby or whatever, Crisson, that says do not go past this point unless you are authorized to. So they do not just let people go back there and check stuff out. And the reason why is because they were robbed a couple years ago. I believe it was either last January 2022 or 2021. I cannot remember. I think it was 2022 that they got robbed. And yeah, they had a lot of stuff stolen. So they beefed up their security, and they're also not giving access as much as they used to, in fear of people will try to do it again. And I understand that. So, you know, it is what it is. But getting back to this stuff, I think I'm going to try to classify this down as best I can without drying it out first. But once I get to the minus 20 stuff, I really do have to take this heat gun and blow it. This was not completely dry, and I was getting a lot of sand at the bottom of my pan where it was sticking to those, even the smaller rocks. All right, so I'm gonna classify. Let me get you closer and I'll show you this process. I'm just taking 1 gallon at a time. This is my 1/4 inch classifier, and this is pretty easy to classify. And I have not found anything under the 1/4 inch yet. I'm not expecting to. I would be shocked if I found any gold that was a 1/4 inch. More importantly, I'm doing this because I want to keep this stuff and crush it, like I said before. If you can see the material is still damp, so you can see a lot of finer sands covering this. So it's still kind of damp and it's still sticking. So that's what I pan out first, just to get the quartz out. And it is a process, let me tell you. It's not just a simple pan and dump. It's pan, and I pick out every piece of quartz and ignore all of the rocks and the stuff that I know doesn't have gold in it. And you can see just out of this gallon how much 1/4 inch material I do have. It's not much. Another thing that I've noticed about this stuff is I've been finding, not a lot, but little pieces of gemstones and minerals, like these little blue things and that little green thing right there. I do not know what it is, but I've never found that in concentrated stuff. I found it in this stuff though, but not much, just very little. So I'm sure that they get some gemstones out of their gold pay as well. Once I get done classifying this, I find my small little bowl and I just drop it in there. Not a lot of material per gallon, but I guarantee that stuff will add up. The more I do this, the more this will add up. By the time I'm done, it's going to be a buttload of material. Then obviously once I'm done with the quarter, so then I just go down to the 1/8 inch. Like I said, I've been using nothing but this classifier right here. It's worked out really well. But I am having to dry out the material when I get into the finer stuff, because if I don't, not only does it stick to the rocks and the quartz, it also sticks to my classifier and it starts building up in between those little grades right there. But that's the process. I will not show you this every time. I just wanted to show you this time what I'm doing. Take my heat gun and just warm up those rocks and warm up this mesh to break up more of that material. The last thing that I classify it to, like I said, was the plus minus 20. This is also the absolute hardest because this stuff is damp. So I'm constantly having to put a little bit in at a time and get as much as I can down to the bottom. These little holes are clogged up with sand now, and it's that wet, damp sand that's having a hard time getting through. So I'll take this and dry it out as best I can. I was thinking of doing nothing but classifying and filling up 5-gallon buckets with minus 20, 5-gallon bucket of plus 20. You know, instead of doing 1 gallon at a time, maybe try to do 5. But either way, it's going to take forever. So I just decided I'll just keep doing it this way. It's funny because when I showed my mom the exact same thing that I'm showing you, she looked at the process and she was like, wow, this looks long. Like, this takes forever. And I'm like, it's therapeutic, very therapeutic. That's like, I love coming to my garage with nobody around or in, or even if people do come in here to watch, that's fine. But I love coming into this garage, peace and quiet, and just panning. You know, after a certain amount of time, you do tend to get bored, but you just quit, go back, do your regular stuff, come back and do it when you want to again. So yeah, that's the process. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing this until I can find something a little bit better to do. Whoa, hello. Sorry, my lighting's very bad in this garage. There's my process, and I think, like I said, I'm going to pan this stuff out. I might show you me panning this stuff out one time, and then if I find any gold, I'll just video that and show you what I got and let you know how much material that I had panned out before I found a piece and blah, blah, blah. I'll shut up now. I'm gonna get back to classifying. Now, before I get started on showing you gold as I pan it, I wanted to show you what I found so far. And this is after 3 gallons of pay that I have panned out and sluiced out. Pretty much everything that's in there came out of the plus 20 material, which is that stuff right there. I did have a couple pieces that came out of the minus 20 stuff, which is that stuff right there. I'm not going, like I said earlier, below minus 20. I'm not doing minus 40 and all that. There's just no point. I know that Crisson does not have hardly any flour gold. Their gold is pretty chunky for the most part, and the smallest stuff that you'll find is definitely minus 40 and up, or plus 40 and up. But yeah, this is what I found so far. It's about 14 pieces. And yeah, for 3 gallons getting that much, I'm hoping that that's consistent. I hope that I don't like run into a dry patch where I get nothing for like 10 or 15 gallons. I think if that stays consistently the way it is, 14 pieces and 3 gallons, and if I have say 75 gallons to go, you know, I don't know if it'll average out like that or if I've just gotten lucky so far, but yeah, that's pretty good gold so far. So we'll see how it goes. Okay guys, I have got my first piece of gold out of this bunch that I've been panning back. This is about my 5th pan of the plus 20 stuff. There is a little piece of gold. And so far it's about every 3rd or 4th pan I've done. About every 4th pan I've done, I've gotten a little piece of gold. Suck it up. Let's move on. Okay. Oh man. As right after I showed you that last piece, I was showing my son how I separate it and all that stuff, how I classify it, and I was telling him, yeah, I'll take this, and I grabbed a couple of scoops of, you know, dirt that's out of the bin that hadn't been classified yet, and I dumped the 1/4 inch, classified it down to a 1/4 inch. I'm like, yeah, and I'll take this and I'll take all the quartz and I'll put it in here and blah, blah, blah. And as I was saying that, I saw something that was gold in 1/4 inch. And I'm like, yeah, that's got to be, it wasn't mica. This was unheard of. Look at that. That is a fat piece of gold. Well, it's a fat piece of gold because it's very flat. Let me show you. I cannot believe I pulled this out that fast. So yeah, look at this bad boy. It's very thin, but very flat. You can tell they did it in their little stamping press thing when they crush all the quartz, but look at that. That is a big piece of gold right there. That's huge. Where's my dime? I'll throw a dime beside it and let you get a good view of it. Okay, so there's my dime, and there's that piece of gold. Again, very thin, but man, that is freaking awesome. I just went upstairs and weighed it too. That's a 3/10 of a gram nugget right there. And yes, I am calling that a nugget. That is so awesome. Let's find about 20 more of those. Golly, that'd be awesome. Not gonna happen, but that'd be awesome if it did. All right, let's move on. That can't even suck it up. I gotta plop it into my snuffer bottle. I can pick it up with my hand. Yeah? Wait, let's hear it. See if you can hear it. Plop. Okay, I think I already hear my next piece. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard a thump, and that usually means that's a piece of gold. So let's pan it down and see. Can you hear it? Let me see if you can hear it. You hear that little swishing sound? I think that's gold. Oh yeah. Oh wow. That's 3 pieces in one scoop. Excuse my language. Darn, 3 pieces in one scoop. I'll take 5 spoons of this and I'll dump it in here and then I'll pan it back. But check this out. I got 3 in one. 1, 2, 3. And that one's like a wire piece. That's really nice. Yeah, I hope I'm not getting all my gold in the first 25-gallon bin. I hope that I get consistent like that all the way through. So far, awesome. Well, I thought I had another piece, but that is not gold. That is pyrite? I think it's pyrite. Let me pick it up. It's definitely not gold. That's too close. But it's got really jagged edges. And it is, I think it's pyrite, but it's got more of a gold look to it. It might be that copper stuff. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. It might just be pyrite, but it's not gold. All right, and after that little pyrite copper looking piece, that is my very next pan. And yeah, that's definitely gold right there. And yeah, my very next pan, I get 2 more pieces of gold right there. Now after doing this, I thought, well, either I keep doing it this way because I seem to be getting more gold doing the filming this way, or to cut down on 750 short takes of me showing 1 piece of gold at a time. I think what I'm going to do on my next few gallons that I do is I'm going to go ahead and just classify it, pan it, and sluice it, and each gallon that I do, I will show you the end results instead of doing every single pan, because even doing it that way, it would end up, like I said, being 600 or 700 different clips of me showing you 1 piece of gold at a time. So, okay, so I'm done with that little gallon that I was telling you about. The -20 that I had, I filled it all the way up in this bucket right here before I panned it or sluiced it out. And then this is a new one, but I panned all of that was completely full as well. So it was actually a little bit more than a gallon, but I'm done with all of that. That's a new gallon bucket that I just classified down. And yeah, this is what I've gotten so far. I haven't panned any of the new stuff that I just classified, but this is after about 5 gallons of pay dirt that I've done. Big fat nug right there, love that. And then pretty nice size flakes. And most of my material, most of my gold is coming out of that +20 stuff. That's really nice. Those things add up, and they're nice little chunky size nuggets or flakes, whatever you want to call them. Okay guys, this is where I wrap up part 1 of this Chrisum Gold 75-gallon pay dirt, unconcentrated pay dirt, because man, I've got so much footage. I'm going to turn this into a 3-part series. I've been editing this for over 2 weeks, and I've been watching about 2 weeks worth of footage, and I got it down to about 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm not even near done with all this footage. and I got it compressed into 30 minutes. So I'm going to make this a 3-part series. Part 2 and Part 3 will be out probably next week and the week after, because it's taken me so long to look through all of this footage and edit it and get it all together. I feel like I'm doing a mini series. I just didn't want to give you guys a 2-hour video because that would have been horrible. But thank you guys for watching this video. Part 2 will be, like I said, out next week, and I'll probably do more of me just sluicing and panning, and then Part 3 will be the final panning and sluicing of the regular stuff, and then me going and crushing all that quartz that I'm setting aside and seeing if I can get any extra gold out of that and reveal what I got at the very end. So until then, thank you for watching. I appreciate everyone who has watched. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the share button. It helps my channel out so much, and it costs you guys absolutely nothing. I really do appreciate everybody who has subscribed, and if you haven't, please do, because it doesn't cost a dime. Just takes a little bit of that finger energy, just hitting that button. And again, I appreciate everybody who has. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down there below, and I will get to them. And until the next time, peace and love, and I will see you guys on Part 2. Bye.